Donald Trump has always thrived on keeping people guessing, but his line on Ukraine was largely consistent. One week, he's praising Vladimir Putin. The next, he's hinting that Ukraine should give up land. According to him, the war had dragged for too long. A peace deal was necessary, and that meant a compromise. But then came New York. The US president landed in the city for the United Nations General Assembly, as you just saw, and suddenly his tone changed. He asked Ukraine to win back all the land. He called Russia a paper tiger. He said NATO should shoot down Russian jets and drones. It's a full 360-degree, a U-turn that nobody really saw coming. So what happened here, and what does it mean for Ukraine and the world? Let's start with the statements. On Tuesday, there was a meeting between Trump and Zelensky, the presidents of the US and Ukraine. They met on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly, the UNGA. Zelensky came with a clear mission: to convince Trump that Ukraine could still win. And by the end of it, Trump did look convinced.
Well, the biggest progress is that the Russian economy is terrible right now. It's, as you know, it's crashing. And that, frankly, Ukraine is doing a very good job of stopping this very large army.
So Trump says Moscow was running out of steam and that this was the time to push back. Then he went on social media and posted this, I'm quoting, "I think Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form." And there's more. Russia has been fighting aimlessly for 3.5 years, a war that should have taken a real military power less than a week to win. This is not distinguishing Russia. In fact, it is very much making them look like a paper tiger. So Trump seems to be Ukraine's new cheerleader. He wrote that Ukraine could win back, and I'm quoting, all its original borders. He called Putin's Russia a paper tiger. He even hinted that Kyiv could, and I'm quoting, Kyiv could go further than that. What does that mean? What is further than that? Is he talking about Crimea? At this point, your guess is as good as mine. But the level of confidence that he showed in Ukraine surprised everyone, even Zelensky, who is now calling Trump a game changer.
Trump is a game changer by himself if he will be sure in Ukraine. And I think that he is more close now to this situation. And that's why, and between us, only Trump can. For today, we know some not too much players in the world who can be game changers. But he's the most closer to this.
Today, Zelensky spoke at the UN General Assembly, and even there, he did not forget to thank Donald Trump.
Yesterday, we had a good meeting with President Trump, and I also spoke with many other strong leaders, and together we can change a lot. Of course, we are doing everything to make sure Europe truly helps. And of course, we count on the United States. I appreciate the support we are receiving.
And this was not all. A reporter asked Trump about Russia violating NATO airspace. We've been telling you how Russian jets and drones have been spotted in NATO member countries. In the past, Trump called it a mistake. But yesterday, he was asked about the violations again, and this time his answer shocked everyone. Trump said NATO should shoot down Russian jets and drones if they violate the airspace of allies.
Mr. President, do you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do.
Sir, have you been briefed on the latest alleged drone incursions to Denmark? What do you think of that? And
Where are they?
Into Denmark, Copenhagen. Denmark is saying that there were some drones that shut down the airport, possibly Russian sabotage. What's your response to that? Will the U.S. have a material?
Well, I have no response until I find out exactly what happened. I know about it, but they don't know what happened. But we're going to find out very soon.
Poland's foreign minister was quick to react. He posted a simple message on social media that said, "Roger that." Meanwhile, NATO has also issued a warning to Moscow. It said that it will use all means to defend its airspace. Over the last few days, Russian drones and planes have breached the skies of Estonia, Poland and Romania. So Europe was already angry, and Trump's comments gave them cover to talk tough. And how is Russia reacting to this? To Trump calling them a paper tiger? Well, the Kremlin has obviously shot back. It said Russia was not a tiger, it was a bear.
Russia is not a tiger. It is a bear. And there was no such thing as a paper bear. So Russia is a real bear. And Russian President Vladimir Putin has on many occasions and with different emotions described our bear. You can remember it. So there is nothing here about being of paper.
But what explains Trump's U-turn? For months, he said that Ukraine might have to give up land. He even floated deals with Putin in Alaska, and now he says Kyiv can take it all back. How did it happen? Did Zelensky finally get through to him, or did Trump lose patience with Putin? That is the question, and frankly, it may be a bit of both. Zelensky says Putin lied to Trump many times, and Trump hates being lied to. Well, maybe the US president finally understands that he is being played. So he's changing his stance. The question is this a strategic shift or just more Trump theater? And it's an important question to consider because while Trump's words are inconsistent, they have real-world consequences. Trump has just turned his position upside down. Ukraine is calling it a big shift. Russia is mocking it. NATO is taking notes and the rest of the world is watching closely because in this war, words can change realities.